Ooh, it feels nice. Hello and welcome to this video, and I'd like to share my dream with you, as you can see in the title of this video. And it's a little bit about, or at least a bit about my dream of one day visiting Japan at the age of 13. And this stems from watching a lot of anime at the age of 13 when I was first introduced to it, like fully introduced to it, because I started similar to like everyone else with Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, stuff like that, the basic stuff that gets played on TV. And eventually I got introduced to anime that you had to go to very sketchy websites to watch whatever's new during that time, especially watching One Piece. At the time, it was only the latest episode was about episode 300, if I'm not mistaken, at the time. And when you watch certain animes that showcase the daily life of, the way people in Japan live, I really enjoyed how it looked, and I hope that one day I could get to see those scenes of how the structure was, the architecture, getting to see the nature side of it, a lot of temples, and especially getting to see the cyberpunk side of Japan when it rains and you get to see the street lights and neon signs and stuff like that. And because I come from a family that we don't make the most, but at least we get a roof over my head. But we don't have enough money to send your kid to, out to Japan. And I decided to, hopefully one day when I have a good paying job, that I could save up enough money to visit that dream after so much years. And I am now 27, so it's been a long time, and I said, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go in a little bit of depth and just experience something that I've never experienced before. So, the aftermath of all of this is taking my camera out there with me, and after 4 years of photography and just shooting a lot of street scenes in New York, portraits, nature photos, anything, any type of genre of photography I have a little bit of experience in. And that concoction of skills eventually leads to my trip to Japan. And so I'm very excited to share with you my book titled A Yume Within 2 Weeks. And with this book, I like to add some emphasis that, well, to start off with, Yume means dream in Japanese. But all the photos that's within this book were all taken within the 2 weeks of being out there. And the way it started was having the idea of wanting to visit different parts of Japan as much as we can, without at least not missing out, as just trying to see as much as we can, basically. And with that in mind, we ended up having to schedule 3 different Airbnbs within Japan. So we started off in Tokyo. I believe it was Taito City, if I'm not mistaken, the first Airbnb. Then the second Airbnb, we went out to Osaka. And the that was the second, yeah. And then the third Airbnb was back in Tokyo because it's a lot closer to the airport. And we knew that we wanted to visit the city side of Japan, and on top of that, visit the nature side and seeing as much temples as we can, and seeing how people live out there. And I think it was very interesting to just have that experience of Airbnbs, just because it's someone else's house that's letting you stay there for the amount of time that you schedule for, but you're within the streets of residents that's out there. And I feel like it gives you a different outlook of how they live their daily lives. That's different from here in United States, especially in New York, right? Completely different, but so similar between both Japan, or at least the city side of Japan, and New York. Where here in New York, it's very noisy and dirty, but it has its charm at the same time. But in Japan, it still has its charm. It's clean, but not as loud, and very quiet depending on where you go, until nighttime hits and everyone's at a bar. Then it becomes a little bit more like New York. And within this book, I knew it was a goal that was very difficult to do, which was creating a photo book out of the experiences out there. And having that in mind, it could easily be a book that kind of sucks, or it's just a lot of filler. So I knew I had to keep in mind that if I wanted to create a book out of this trip, I had to make as much out of the trip and get as much great photos that I can without filling a book with just trash photos. And being honest with yourself and knowing that if you don't have good photos, then it's not worth to be printed, and it's just better on social media. So I'm very proud to have a book that has a lot of really great photos, that's filled with color, filled with black and white scenes, different genres of photography, from cars to nature, city, cyberpunk vibes, animals, all kinds of genres that's just within this book that I think a lot of people would enjoy as much as I do. And because I had this difficult goal, that what if these photos that I take is not good and I just wasted a little bit of time, just creating shit that's not worth being printed. And thankfully, I had to figure out a balance between enjoying my stay in this new territory that I've never been. Like I said, I've never been there. But at least I had experience in New York of how hectic and overcrowded it could feel. That was very similar in feeling when I was out there in Japan. And because the similarities between both of them, I just brought my New York style out there to Japan and captured as much as I can within those 2 weeks. So now, if you're like me, that just loves the culture of Japan, and let's say you've been there or you've never been there. If you've been there or you're looking to be there one day, I think this book could be something that could, you know, feed into the nostalgia, or it could maybe inspire you to want to visit that location just as much as I did at one point. And like I said, I'm very proud of this piece of work that I've worked on. And I'm surprised myself on how good the photos came out, because I would like to say, like, no one's a bigger critic than myself when it comes to my work. And the amount of times that I saw these photos of, like, because you have to edit these, go through them again, and then let it breathe for some time, then come back to it, make changes, like in case edits didn't age well, or maybe some photos just didn't age well and you get rid of it from the cut. And then after that, you have to, well, I use InDesign to lay out my you know, the photos onto the software to get the flow of the book. But before you even put it in the software of Adobe InDesign, I printed a bunch. I printed all of them by, like, the, you know, the standard size of, like, CVS, you know, little prints of photos, I guess. And I just laid it out onto the wall and kind of just started figuring out the flow of what the book is going to be. And I wanted the flow of the book to kind of give you an experience of, like, how the day started for us and how the day ended, morning time to then nighttime, and in between everything, especially going through the train system, stuff like that. It's all within the flow of this book and giving you that feeling of, you know, just curiosity of what's around you and seeing things you've never seen before. And I think the flow of the book, you know, captures that really well. And like I said, because of doing that too, I'm going to flow with it, editing, putting it into the software. The amount of times I've seen these photos, usually I get tired of looking at my photos for some time, but generally I just post it on social media and then I just move on from it. I don't really do anything else with it. I just post it and forget it, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then, you know, who cares? But with these photos that's within the book, it just kept the same feeling of enjoying what I'm looking at and not getting tired of it. And because of that, I know that it's something special that people could enjoy too, regardless of the genre, regardless of the genre of photography that you like, regardless if you are deep into photography and you know the science or the technical sides of everything, or you're just someone that enjoys photography and you don't know the technical side of stuff, but you enjoy good photos and the aesthetic of it, just, you know, you enjoy it. So anyways, I hope, if you do decide to get the book, if you don't, that's okay with me. But if you do decide to get a copy, it's on Amazon. It's titled A Yume Within 2 Weeks. Let me see if I can get that up close so y'all can see it. Hopefully it's not backwards. If it's backwards, then oh well. But yeah, A Yume Within 2 Weeks. It's on Amazon. Leave a review if you enjoy it, hopefully. If you didn't enjoy it, then hey man, you could do whatever you want with the copy. But with that being said, I will be showing you clips of my travels and everything I did. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you made it this far, you know. So hopefully it's not too long of a video, but thank you for your time. And like I said, I really do appreciate and hope you like this book because it's special to me, and I hope anyone who decides to get this can see that as well. But yeah, leave your comments, let me know how you feel about it. Take care, y'all, and until next time, peace. Also, I'd like to give a thanks to my girlfriend Jocelyn for recording a lot of the clips you see, or pretty much all of them except the first clip in the beginning, which were taken by my friend Buddy. And now you'll pretty much see a bunch of different clips pretty much taken along our trip. Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, that's a good one. That's good.
I got the hook in the line.
That's good.
This is fucking terrifying.
Just looking at Joshua.